Welcome to my kitchen. I am going to be working today at making a cake. Now I haven't actually made this recipe before. I've got a few others that I've done, but this one was a simple one and I thought this would be fun and a nice replacement to give my eldest son, who loves the vanilla cupcakes at the grocery store, that I have no idea what they've put into them. I thought this would be a great way to give him his vanilla cake treat. He doesn't do chocolates and all of that, so we're gonna try out this new recipe. But what I really wanted to do was to try and find something that was gonna be fun to make and easy to make. We've used this for pancakes, but I haven't made a cake with it. So I thought this would be a really great time to do that. Now this item here is called the Whip and Mix Chef. And it's actually amazing. It's one of those tools, again, I've got children with sound sensitivities. So for them to want to actually help and do things when we don't have to use the loud blender or any of those kind of electric contraptions that make so much noise, this has been an amazing addition to our kitchen. Again, my eldest especially likes to actually help do things now. So this is great. It's got a really nice series of features to it. So first off, you're gonna see here, there are a number one Roman number and numerals, and then number 2. So what this does is it shifts it from a low gear to a higher gear. So if you're just doing eggs or whipping up whipped cream, something that's very simplistic, straightforward, you would use 1. If you want to go into something that needs a little bit more oomph to it, a little more thickness, whatever, like if you're making a thicker cookie batch or whatnot, then you definitely will move to the 2nd gear. And that also has the area here. You can see I've just opened it up and we've got the funnel, and the funnel clicks in here. And it's great because the funnel itself has little measuring spots on it. So if you have it at its one location, and I can see when it's open and when it's closed. So if I have it over here, it's closed right now. And I can measure it up here in ounces, whatever the amount is that I need, or in milliliters, and I can raise to that amount. And then when I'm ready to put it in, I do this and it just drops back in. And that way it's saving me 1 or 2 times of lifting the lid, depending on what I'm adding. If I'm just, especially in the morning when I'm doing pancakes, this one's a great one because we used to, we have 2 units that actually work well with it, but we've been using this one a little bit more often. But both feature the same thing that the Power Chef as well does, the ability to add a little bit of extra liquid. So when we need to smooth down pancake batter, we can keep adding as needed. So those are a couple of the different features. Cleaning this is incredibly easy, and one of the end things, and I'll show you when we're doing it at the very end, is when you get all of those, the beaters that are all filled with the batter and stuff. Once I've poured out the batter, what I'll do is I'll put this back in, it will be empty, I will go through and spin it a number of times, and it actually drops all the batter back into the unit, at which point then I can spatula and scrape it in to get it out of here. So it's great. And then this all comes apart really easily, washes up super fast, and then it goes back together with quite ease. So you just have to pay attention to things such as where the things are. Like this has 2 teeth on the back and they fit into the 2 teeth of the handle. So that's how I know it's in its proper place. So when I'm going through, I can know that I'm spinning it. This also has another locking feature that when I twist this off of this white cap, it actually separates, and you can see all the gears and everything. It actually helps with the ease of cleaning. So don't be afraid of opening and taking a look at it. I might do a little feature showing that at some point. So anyway, yes, this is our Whip and Mix. So let's get going. Vanilla cake, here we come. So, oh, there, I just showed you. I forgot the whole thing doesn't twist off. So I'm gonna put it back on and lift the lid. So I'm gonna put in, I pre-measured most everything so it was easy and simplistic to do. So I've got my 1 cup of sugar, and we'll set that over there. And I have my butter, which has been softened but not melted. And so we'll put that in there, and I'll set this aside so I don't get this on my hands again. And now I'm going to go ahead. Now because this is because of the butter, I'm going to want to put this in on gear 2 so that it's easier, and make sure to whip up that butter with a little bit more oomph as I do this. Okay, so I'm going to sit this over here so I've got this in my hands, and away I'm going to go. So the one thing that's been nice is a lot of times, especially for the boys, now they're stronger when it gets into chunkier things and it's harder for me to mix. Sometimes I'll bring the boys down and have them help hold this for me. It does get a little bit rougher if you've got a heavier kind of a batter or the first time that you're doing this. And again, my habit is to twist to pull. And so you can see it's doing a really great job. All of these, there are 6 beaters here, and all 6 of them do their own thing. So it really whips things up quite fast. You can go left or right depending on what, you know, direction your hands need to go. So that's the first ingredient. So the next ingredient that I need, and I've got my recipe here so I don't mix up the order, are my eggs. Now it says to add eggs 1 at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this and put this here for right now, very gently, and I'll add the first egg first. I would have normally, I like to actually pre-crack my eggs when I'm doing a recipe like this and have them ready to go, but because they are 1 at a time, I decided to keep it straightforward with how the recipe works. So I'm going to add this one in, and right now it's already a lot easier to spin, and I can see that my camera is actually doing a little bit of wiggling. So my apologies if this is making you seasick. So again, I'm going to add the next egg, and again I twisted, and you can see it's getting nice and creamy in there. So this is amazing to be able to show you guys how this actually comes together so easily. So again, I'm going to put the egg in there and put this back in. Make sure I put it into its locking spot and start to go. And here I go with wiggling your camera again. So while I'm spinning this, my next ingredient is going to be adding the vanilla. Now, while we're doing this here, I'm going to tell you a little bit. This is still my favorite thing when we're going in. I pull these out of the drawer, and they're already in their little family, so I know exactly where to go to find my 1 teaspoon. And this would be a really good chance to, oops, there was a little bit of the sugar on there, to show you how this works. So I'm going to pop this in. Now I know I don't have to pre-measure in here, so I know exactly what I'm going to add, and it's going to be 2 teaspoons full. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right here without actually doing anything else. I don't have to pull the lid off to get those in. You can see it's, I don't know if you can see, it's already gone straight into there because I had it ready to go and ready to funnel in. I'll put the funnel here in case I need it again. And I will close this and I will begin to whip it again. And the next ingredients are, our flour and our baking powder. Not baking soda, baking powder. And it is 1 3/4 teaspoons of the baking powder, and then 1.5 cups of flour. Now I like my cakes a little bit lighter and fluffier, so I always sift. So I've pre-sifted these together. So they're already in here and ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and once again, I will lift and I will not unlock. That is a habit that I have. And so I'm gonna take this, and you can see it's coming together beautifully. I'll set that there, and I will start putting in some flour. Actually, I'm going to get my spatula here and direct it in. So I will do 1 round first, and then I will do the second half as well, just so that I make sure I get it blended nice and evenly. And here we go. And like I said, it's going to get thicker again as I go through, and it's pulling from everything and blending it in with the butter and all of the fluids. And the last thing that goes in is milk, but it is the last thing, and that's what will thin it out again. So again, it's going to continue to get a little thicker and a little thicker as I go through and add the rest of the flour. And then once again, I will use the funnel to pour the milk in so I don't have to lift the lid off again. So it's getting just hard enough, but I know that it's mixing really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping to add some of the milk. And I'll add part of it first, and then I'll go back in and add the rest. Oh, I see what's, I actually got some of the cake batter into there. That was on me. So what I'm gonna do, I have a second funnel. And the glories of having everything right here, because this one will be a clean funnel. So now I can add the rest of the milk and you'll see it going in. So it's slowly going in. I will continue to mix. Got a little bit more to add as well. Now, for somebody who's got normal hands, this would probably be a lot easier. For me, I have neuropathy, so I have a lot of difficulty with my hands. So that I can still do this, and I'm happy to do this, kind of tells you the difference that there is in being able to. Now, I've got all of the milk in there, so I'm gonna actually pull that. So the rest of this is just about mixing. And I will go in to make sure that it is pulled off of all of the sides. And one time with the spatula, before I continue on, just like if I was doing it in a bowl, I will always make sure that it's mixed and gotten all of the different sides in there as well. It has done pretty well. So I'm gonna do, you can see there's a little bit of some white patches in there. So I've got that going there, and I'll use that to scrape. So I'm gonna leave that there. Oops, get this back into the right place. And here we go, one last round of mixing. So this is where I was wanting to also tell you about this. Now I'm actually baking this in the silicone round today. And a couple of features that I really like about this is it can be used in the oven, it can be used in the freezer if you've got a frozen dessert, it can be used in the microwave as well. So there are certain recipes definitely that I might shift and do in the microwave. I haven't done a cake in this pan. I've done small mini cakes and they work out beautifully in the microwave. But for today, I had said that I would make this in the oven like it normally would. So you can see that it's like, if I'm just holding it like this, it needs some support. So definitely you'll want to have some kind of a flat surface. Now, if I was going to be cooking this in the microwave, I would bring the microwave plate over with me, have it sat on there, and then I would fill it on that, and then just bring the plate back to the microwave to be able to do the cooking. I also have a flat item that I can actually carry it with and just slide it onto. But as far as for cooking today, I'm gonna actually stick with the pan. The pan will not get dirty, the pan will be fine, unless I spill myself. It should be fine. So really it's about cooking in here and the ease of getting it in and out. And it really does make a big difference. So you can see it's nice and thick. So I'm gonna go ahead and one last chance of stirring to make sure I've got it all in there, and I do. It looks like the edges, everything good, excellent. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour in. I do not need to pre-grease this at all. What I do need to do though is, here we go, make sure that I've washed it really well and dried it. Soap and water, that's all you need. It is also dishwasher safe. So you, at the end of this, you can actually dishwasher it if you wish. But it's really about, sorry, I'm thinking as I'm talking, as I'm doing stuff here. Making sure that it comes out clean so that it's ready to go. That means it's gonna be the best for non-stick you can possibly have. So I need to find the teeth, put the teeth back in there, and then watch what's gonna happen, because I'm gonna actually do a quick spin on this. I'll put it down to first gear so it's actually more like looping. Gets it all off. And look at how much cleaner those are. This is great because that means I'm not wasting a whole bunch of batter. And so I've done this and I haven't splattered it everywhere. I know with my old beater I used to do similar, but as you lifted the beater out of the stuff, you'd start getting it up and all over the place. Never failed. So, and what I'm doing right now is with the Tupperware spatula, you'll see, I should have showed you here, let me go ahead and scrape the edges a bit. You'll see that the one side is rounded, and that's great for getting into certain types of things like bowls. The other side has got more of a squared off edge, and I like that because like in this situation, it's not a rounded, it's actually a square edged, and it means I will not miss any of the extra batter. And so I'm gonna go ahead and scrape and pull, get that out. And you can see I'm actually getting this pretty darn clean with this. One last pull here, and a scrape and a pull. And you can see it's great. I haven't lost like a whole bunch of the batter in there. So there, I will put that there. And then I will take this and smooth this around. Now I could have double batched, having not, like I said, done a cake. I've done smaller little square and rectangular ones. I've not done the big one, and I wanted to do the round one because I was going to have some fun doing a shape for him. And I'm looking forward to getting soon the cupcake molds as well, because I really want to try those, and we do a lot of the cupcakes. In fact, that's his best and favorite way to eat his little white cakes, is in the pancake, sorry, not the pancake mold, the cupcake molds. So I'm going to take one of the mini spatulas that I have here and scrape and pull and scrape and scrape and pull. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven. It will cook for, now the recipe normally says 30 to 40 minutes, but because I've got this such a thin layer, I know it's not going to take that long. I will probably test it in about 20 minutes. Maybe the same kind of a process speed as with cupcakes, because cupcakes, although they are much taller, meaning there's a lot more thickness in there and you want to get cooked to the center. This one is so thin, but I still want to make sure it cooks in the very center of the thinner cake. So it's not as thick as you would in a bigger cake. So I will probably check it 20 minutes, maybe 18 minutes, and I'll be back.